So let's talk about change. It's interesting because we're in this big environment of change where all the energies around us, to me, feel like an offer of change. And in some ways, sometimes we might feel like we didn't ask for that. It's just happened. And it could be that we're observing people around us going through this. And so I wanted to talk about 4 things that I've noticed about this situation. The first is that when a person experiences change, one of the first things that can happen is that they disappear. The reason I think that they disappear is because a person needs to integrate change that happens for them. And it shakes up a person when we change. It also is something that's really noticed by our physical body and our human energy system. As my friend Alex likes to talk about, there's this thing called homeostasis that tries to keep the body in a consistent range of operation. And so when we change something about that, there's an inbuilt, almost like resistance, like, no, you got to get back to this thing that we always do, because that's where I'm safe. Or, whatever the details of that are. And so I like to work with my mind to facilitate moving through that homeostasis to a new level of performance and operating of my human energy system. But when we're talking about the body, because the body experiences these changes, sometimes love and care is what we require, because the body, in my experience, it tends to operate non-verbally. It has its own experience, like this body avatar. It has its own energy, and it emits that energy as part of our energy field. And so having patience with ourselves and having patience with people around us going through change, understanding that this is what they're going through. They're having a body reaction. They're having a system reaction. And it takes time for us to absorb that into our human experience. The second thing that I've noticed, and there seems to be a lot of this going around, is when encountering change and actually changing, and a person can even express that they want to change, but something that will happen is that they will get angry. They will get angry at a person who's helped them with the change. They will get angry at whatever the source of that change is that they perceive. And why is that? In this example, I think there's a couple things going on. I think that you have a situation there where a person is so deeply committed to that physical homeostasis and even energetic homeostasis in their human energy system, that moving off of that even slightly, even if the person has said, I want this, I'm uncomfortable and I want to heal this, but it's so scary. And I just think it's a type where it's just so scary to move out of that the performative basis of their existing systems, physical, spiritual, mental, emotional. And the second thing is that when we experience that change, we up-level in that change. And it's like almost our view of reality can shift. It can go from black and white to full color. And when we make the effort that causes that change, and then we see a glimpse into that panoramic full color vision, it can be really scary. Why? Because it can cause us to reassess basic things about our life. It could cause us to reassess some of our relationships that we feel that we need in our life, that we feel are dear to us. It can cause us to reassess, basic ideas that we have had with us our whole lives. And these things are really scary. Okay, they are really scary. And so it's very common, having had a glimpse into that full color vision of, wow, this could be the new me. Boom, the person is just like, no, I'm not going there because it's too scary to shift. Now, sometimes we then make that transition more slowly over a period of time. And sometimes the person, falls back to saying, no, I'm just not going to go there. And each choice is valid, right? This is between God and the soul, God and the human being, the path that each human being has in life. The third, the third thing that I see happening a lot, I'm sure a lot of people have experienced this, is that even the suggestion of change can bring forward this fight or flight response. And we've talked about the flight response so far, moving away from that, up-leveling. But it can also generate change, or the idea of change or the experience of change can generate a fight response where the person sees the up-leveling. They may even just have a hint of it, and they're going to fight against that. No, you're not going to change my world. Like, this is where I'm safe. And that can cause lashing out. There's a lot of people, they just carry a certain energy, and this will be intuitively perceived by someone who doesn't want to change. Because if they allow someone with a different energetic makeup in their space, it will invite them to change, invite them to change, invite them to change, or just invite them to consider that other, what is that other energetic makeup? What does that mean? What would it mean for me? And so even having that present can just be very uncomfortable. And it could be because a person has light. It could be because a person is of chaos. So it works on all sides of the spectrum for each one of these points. And so there's a response of fighting against that. It could be done by setting clear boundaries, but it could also be done in lashing out. And so when there's lashing out, okay, no matter what side of the big circle of life this is occurring on and you are positioned on, that lashing out is simply because a person is saying, I don't want to change, get out of my space. Could be that. In my view, God within each person involved guides that person. Each individual human being has that ability to connect with God. Each individual human being has the ability to know their path. And for some people, not changing is the right thing for them. For some people, changing is the right thing for them. Now, the fourth area of change is really fascinating to me. It's making a change and then offering gratitude for everything that got you to that change, accepting and receiving around these situations, and being able to say thank you. It's interesting because sometimes it's so much easier to give gratitude outside ourselves than to receive inside ourselves. And there are a lot of reasons for that, of course. I have this circle here with the sun in it. Ultimately, when we receive, we are simply, in my view, activating the sun within, the soul connection within, the spark of God's light within, the spark of the Creator's energy within, okay, which actually is all of us, because everything about me, even the shirt I'm wearing, is of the Creator. Just at a different consciousness level. That's how I view it. Everything is of God. Everything is of the Creator. So I like to use this circle with the sunlight inside to represent my human energy field, or the human energy field in general, and the soul light within, the connection with God, the Most High, the Creator of the universe. And so when we receive, it's kind of like we're just turning that on. But in our human experience of being an individuated being that is visibly separated from other, right? Visibly unto myself in a separate body from others with my own soul connection. So if I receive from the world around me, someone gives me physically something or whatever, in my view, what this is, it's like a mirror of the outpouring of the light within me. And so to a certain extent, the amount to which I can receive affects the amount to which I can embody my own light. And that's really interesting. And ultimately, all reception is from that light within. And the action of receiving externally from outside ourselves is simply a mirror of that for us. Isn't that amazing? I don't know, I've just been thinking about this today. And so thanking everyone involved, because a lot of times when we get to this shift point, right, where we've up leveled, there's people around us in the world around us who have helped us. And they may have helped us not by being in a friendly, feel-good way. The person may have helped us by challenging us. The person may have helped us by getting in our face and saying, hey, blah, 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 whatever it is. And these people deserve our gratitude because you have invited me to look within and say, what does this mean for me, this interaction? Does it mean something for me? Does it mean that I should have stronger boundaries? Does it mean that you're telling me something that resonates somehow within with me? Does it give me an idea for something that you may not even know about, but that helps me along my path, but it's triggered by our interaction? So when we do up level and we do accept change and we live that, in my view, there's a whole piece that comes with that of acknowledging the wheel of life, the wheel of existence, the yin-yang of circumstances and opportunities and experiences and interactions that caused us to get there. Over the last 2 or 3 weeks, it's so fascinating that I've had these experiences all around the circle of experiences. I'm so grateful for them all because they've gotten me to here, and miracles have happened, and that is beautiful. The human resonance. It's all about the vibe.